This is Smith and Wesson M&P 22 Magnum First Range Report. Today's video is filmed at the beautiful Banner shooting range, though luckily there isn't much background noise to contend with. And now, let's hit the range! Alright, here we are. Beautiful Friday at the always beautiful Banner range here. We have fantastic summer weather. It's about 80 degrees, slightly humid, but not nearly as bad as it could be. Played hooky from work today so we could come out and get some video footage. Today, we were taking a look at the new Smith and Wesson. I don't know what the model is on it. It's their 22 Magnum pistol. Now for YouTube's sake, we have 25 round magazines. So normally in an unrestricted state and YouTube, in a state that doesn't care about YouTube, they come with 30 round magazines. So again, only 25 that we have in today's magazine. This is going to be the first shots out of the Firearm. I didn't even clean it because turns out the field script and I didn't feel like breaking out the tools. So we're just I just shot a little ballast oil in there, and here we go. We're going to shoot at the left-hand target, bullseye. Let's see how the first couple shots go. A little to the left for me. That's probably just me needing to get used to where the trigger is here. Front sight, very easy to pick up when the safety is on, the trigger is completely disengaged. Let's fire 10 more here. Okay, 0 failures in the first magazine. Locked open on empty. Some recoil, but I mean it's 22 recoil, it's not. Be curious to see when we eventually get to take this to Daryl's if it has like fantastic muzzle flash like 22 Magnum pistols typically have. Okay, what we're going to do now, using our second magazine, is I'm going to get 10 readings on our Doppler chronograph here. So that way we can see what the velocity of this 22 Magnum is out of this pistol. Sighting in our Doppler here. We'll also get some chronograph numbers from the LPR just for shits and giggles. But we're going to try to get at least 10 measurements from the Smith and Wesson here. Here we go. Let's bottom right hand of the left hand target. Okay, here we go. Okay, failure. $1481 is the velocity. Let's try another one here. 1537. 1585, 1573, 1478, 1567, 1605, 1512, 1647, 1573. Okay. Okay, average velocity 1,556 feet per second. Highest velocity 647 feet per second. Lowest velocity 1,458 feet per second. Difference between the highest and the lowest was 109 feet per second. Standard deviation was 53.9. 10-shot sample size. Now let's create a new, and we'll get 8 shots out of our LCR. This is CCI Stanger with the 22 Magnum just fired. That was CCI Maxi-Mag TNT 22 Winchester Magnum, which is a 30 grain jacketed hollow point. Advertised velocity 2,200 feet per second on the box. CCI Stanger. This is a 32 grain, so slightly heavier projectile. Copper plated hollow point. Velocity 1640 on the box. We'll be lucky to get that. Here we go, bottom right of the right hand target. Let's hope that we are close enough, yet far enough from the Doppler to get a good measurement. Here we go. 1102. 1118. 1100. 1081. 1103. 1124. 1132. 1137. Actually quite a bit better velocity than I expected. If I remember right, that's actually why I picked the CCI Stinger, is I get so far the best average velocity out of my LCR anyway.
The Smith and Wesson M&P 22 Magnum is a internal hammer-fired, gas-operated, full-size pistol chambered in 22 Winchester Magnum. The firearm is 8.4 inches long, 5.9 inches high, 1.13 inches wide, and weighs in at 22 ounces unloaded. The firearm has a black polymer grip frame. It has a flat face trigger with a shoehorn safety, and I believe that is a single action only trigger on this firearm. The magazine release is reversible. It does have a ambidextrous slide release and thumb safety. Here is a close-up of the thumb safety and the slide release. You can also see the serrations on the rear of the slide here that are useful when articulating the slide, when loading or unloading and verifying the firearm is empty. The firearm has a stainless steel slide and barrel that are both coated in the Armornite finish. The barrel is 4.35 inches long. Underneath the barrel, there is a Picatinny style rail for attaching something like a light, a laser, or I believe in this case, maybe even something like a weight. The front sight on the firearm is a high visibility fiber optic front sight. I find it to be a rather large dot for my personal taste, but it is very easy to see with some cork hairs in there for scale. The rear sights on the Firearm are a black anti-glare notched rear sight. And here's a picture of what that sight picture might look like for you. All of the pictures so far in this video have been taken after our first range session, so you might notice things like unburnt powder in some of the shots. Unburnt powder kind of goes hand in hand with .22 Magnum in a handgun, in my opinion. As a frame of reference, we are now going to show some images comparing the M&P 22 Magnum size-wise against a recent firearm we have featured in numerous videos, in this case the 80X Cheetah. This is just to give you an idea of the size of a full-size 22 Magnum versus, say, a compact double-stacked firearm like the 80X Cheetah. Before we get into our main talking points for this video, let's head back to that beautiful banner range for a little more range time.
Just humid enough. Let's fire the last 15 rounds of our Maxi, the bottom left hand of our left hand target. And we did have one earlier, and I think that's actually on the magazine and how the ammo stacked up, not on, say, the bullet getting stuck or something like that, loading into the firearm. I'll come back to that later in a talking point. Okay, what we're going to try out now is I have Hornady V-Max. This is a V-Max projectile. It has like a polymer tip. I don't even know to call it a V-Max. Advertised velocity 2,200 feet per second. We will chronograph it during the second magazine. Got sweat in my face. Just like we did with the Maxi Mag. Let's see how it does first though. We'll do one magazine, top left of our left-hand target. This will be the YouTube safe 25 round magazine. Okay, I don't know if you will perceive this on the camera, but the sound, the bang, the report, noticeably and significantly different in my opinion between the Mini Mag and the V-Max Hornady ammo. Also a noticeable difference in recoil. And I'm going to assume there's a big muzzle flash, because one thing I noticed when firing those rounds, there's a little bit of a breeze blowing into my face, and after firing each round, it felt like the temperature was 5 degrees hotter because of like the hot gas or whatever being blown back on me. It was noticeably, the air was noticeably warmer. So I do think we have a slightly better group with that Hornady ammo than what we got with the CC CCI Maxi Mag, which I think might come down to getting more familiar with the gun and the trigger, though also the diminished recoil. We're going to do this video and I'm going to wait because the range is probably going to get cold any moment now, so we'll hang up a fresh target for our chronograph set. Okay, let's get set up now for our chronograph test of the V-Max ammo. We're going to shoot at the center bullseye of the now new left hand. If you remember with our CCI Maxi Mag, we had an average velocity of 1,556 feet per second, which is about 650 feet per second less than what's advertised on the box. We're not using a rifle, so we would expect to see some velocity difference. Let's see how this V-Max ammo now does. We're going to try to get 10 shots on the sample here. $14.36. $15.79. $15.26. $15.19.
Well, we can go down to the steel.
$15.41. $14.31. $14.74. $14.28. $14.30. $15.40. Let's crunch the numbers. Okay, average velocity 1,490 feet per second. Highest velocity 1,579 feet per second. Lowest velocity 1,428 feet per second. The difference between the highest and the lowest velocity is 151 feet per second. Standard deviation of 57. That's our 10 shot sample size. Okay, at the mid-width range, like we're at, we can't really do a rapid fire test to assess, say, reliability in that regard. The manual does have at least 2 notices I saw that says if you do rapid fire, as the gun heats up, it might get reliable. We're going to do some double taps now and see how it goes with double taps. I have 15 left in the magazine. Shoot at the bottom left of the left-hand target. Here we go. Okay, 0 failures. In the current weather conditions that we have, where it's like full bright sunny out, that front fiber optic front sight with the sort of matte black, I don't see any anti-glare, but with the matte black rear sight combined with that front fiber optic front sight, very good visibility. It's a bigger bit of fiber optic than I'm a fan of. I would say you lose a little bit of pinpoint accuracy with how big the green dot is, but at the same time it is easy to see, easy to pick up. Now we have 25 rounds of the Maxi Mag loaded. Let's do a few double taps. And there's what you can see. This is what I was talking about with the mag. It's not, it's failing to feed out of the magazine, where this sometimes the nose into the magazine, which you can kind of see when you're loading it. I was going to comment on, I wonder if this one is going to do that. Okay, so here we go. Bottom right hand target now. We'll mix in double taps with single shots here. We'll see if you can notice a difference in the report. A couple double taps now. Okay, we're going to shoot at the top right hand target. Okay, I'm going to alternate now between the top left and the top right hand target. For our final magazine, let's shoot at the top left-hand target. And what I'll do is, we'll do 5 shots two-handed. We'll transition and do 5 shots right-handed, 5 shots left-handed, and then transition back to our two-handed grip to finish out the magazine. Hopefully, I math as good as I described it out. Here we go. I did better one-handed than I did with a two-handed. Here we go. It's hot. It's definitely hot. Got smoke coming off the barrel. Nice.
Video. If you're still watching at this point and you enjoyed the video, think about mashing those like and subscribe buttons. Not only does it help the channel with that algorithm everyone talks about, but more importantly, it helps a good cause. The money we get from Google for the content on this channel is donated to charity, 100% of it. The first check we got from Google wasn't much, a little over $122, but every little bit helps. I picked 2 charities that are important to the crew, the Children's Hospital of Orange County and the Community Food Bank of Central Alabama. Half of that check went to each organization, plus a little extra to cover all the fees. Good times. When we say, thanks for watching, we really do appreciate it. Your viewership helps us do something positive with firearms related content. Thanks for watching. After day 1, the Smith and Wesson M&P 22 Magnum is a firearm that appears to have the potential to be a ton of fun come range day. With a YouTube capacity of 25 rounds and a real life capacity of 30 plus rounds, you are squarely in John Woo, no reloading in today's action movie territory. The firearm is easy to shoot, accurate, and maybe even reliable for a rimfire 22 Winchester Magnum pistol. That it has a 30 round magazine option available puts it almost in the LOL's realm. 30 rounds in a magazine? Shut the front door. Before we get carried away, let's pump the brakes for a minute and highlight some of what might be cons after our first range trip. With as many warnings as Smith and Wesson puts in the manual regarding ammo, I get the impression some ammo is going to make it a cleaner shooter versus others. Smith and Wesson put some very clear notices regarding maintenance in the manual, and as always, I always encourage everyone to read the manual. While I don't think it's necessarily a con, one area where I do think the M&P 22 Winchester Magnum will need more attention than your average 22 long rifle pistol is in cleaning and maintenance. That's not really the M&P's fault. You might have noticed there are a plethora of 22 long rifle pistols on the market, including 22 long rifle versions of many of your favorite, insert favorite video game here, gun in 22 long rifle, from MP5 clones to 1911 clones to, you get the idea. If you're aware of 22 Winchester Magnum, you might have also noticed that there are far fewer 22 Winchester Magnum auto-loading pistol options out there compared to 22 long rifle. More recently, things like the Caltech PMR and CMR have been introduced, along with, say, some Walther pistols, but for the most part, 22 Winchester Magnum doesn't get that same all the things love like the 22 long rifle cartridge does. There is a reason for that. I'm going to use a blurb from the AMT Wiki to help explain why. There were a number of engineering challenges to overcome in designing an auto-loading 22 Winchester Magnum handgun, such as extraction problems. The extraction problems stem from the fact that the slow-burning rifle powder of the 22 Winchester Magnum cartridge develops a late peak pressure. This can cause the case mouth to expand and jam in the chamber when fired from a handgun. ... Now that we have that out the way, one thing that surprised me about the M&P 22 Magnum is the barrel with barrel shroud. After reading further in the manual, and then remembering that bit from the AMT Wiki, the Tempo barrel system with its gas port made more sense to me. The firearm needs that type of pressure compensation system to function reliably, but as a result, will also need more regular cleaning than some other rimfire automatics chambered in, say, 22 long rifle. This M&P 22 Magnum is the first pistol I have encountered that uses the barrel in a barrel shroud technology. Time will tell how well it performs for us. I would have preferred something like, say, a bull barrel over what looks like a pencil-thin barrel on this M&P, but I vaguely understand why the setup is as it is. Another mentionable, as far as cons go for me, is that you need a tool, something like a small punch, to be able to field strip this M&P pistol. In 2023, the quote, worst thing I usually say about a firearm here is something about needing to pull the trigger to field strip it. Here, needing a tool that I'm going to consider the 99%ers don't have as being not a good thing. I'm one of the few in the crew who has things like punches and hollow ground screwdrivers. I don't think most firearms owners have the punch 2023 Smith and Wesson envisioned they'd have when designing this firearm. But at the same time, I will say from trial and error, most firearms owners will have some item they can use in place of said punch the manual mentions, but they shouldn't need it. Anyway, now let's talk about the last con I've found so far. While the 25 or 30 round capacity is nice, the amount of necessary play to accommodate the stacking of that many rimmed cartridges I think enhances the possibility of the failure we saw 2 times in this video. The failure where instead of riding up while being stripped off the magazine, a round might instead go nose down and torpedo itself into the wall of the magazine,
which then locks the action open. All rimfire semi-automatic pistols have their quirks, some more noticeable than others. With 22 Winchester Magnum, those quirks are magnified. I believe this is one reason why Smith and Wesson has posted as much as they have so far regarding ammo and the M&P 22 Magnum. I can't recall any other firearm where the manufacturer went into such detail regarding ammo as Smith and Wesson has done here. I think they have done that with good reason. Not all rimfire ammo is created equal, and with 22 Winchester Magnum traditionally and almost exclusively being a rifle round, they are trying to head off those who think their firearm is faulty, when an issue is instead something like ammo related or cleaning related or a combination of both. Now, an eternity later, let's take a moment to talk about the positives. After 200 rounds, the M&P 22 Magnum so far has the potential to be a fun target shooter come range day for us. With a 30+1 capacity, some people will say it's the perfect personal protection weapon, some on the crew included. While I'm not prepared to go that far, like any firearm, it certainly has that potential. 30+ rounds of anything can be quite formidable. The M&P 22 Magnum so far has been quite accurate, and I'm tempted to say reliable for a 22 Winchester Magnum pistol. The trigger is very easy to use, and while I need to acclimate to it, it certainly has the potential to be very good for a factory trigger. I know many people who will be fans of the ambidextrous nature of the firearm. One area that we haven't commented on so far is the optics-ready nature of the firearm. Don't worry, we didn't forget about that. One aspect that will please many people is the M&P 22 Magnum does come optics ready for many of the popular micro red dot pistol optics available today. Once we have had a chance to take some shots at, say, the 50 and 100 yard gongs with the iron sights, we plan on attaching a Holosun 507K to this firearm and revisiting it with said optic attached. That video will likely be just as long as this one. So far, from what I can tell, Smith & Wesson markets this firearm as a ranged target shooter. After day one, I think it has the excellent potential in that regard. While I'm not prepared to call it something like the ideal personal protection firearm, that 30-round capacity combined with a decent factory trigger, an easy-to-see factory sight setup, and a John Woo cinema feeling says, hey, screw reloading. With iron sights, the M&P 22 Magnum is an extremely fun range shooter. Will the same be true with a micro red dot attached? Odds are good, but I hope you're looking forward to finding out just as much as we are. That seems like a good spot to call this one a day. We hope you enjoyed this break from our regularly scheduled 380 programming as much as we did. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a good day.